was due to thrust deficiency. Yeah, you'd think. AST gets FCC nod to compete with Starlink. SpaceX wants to acquire a, quote, startup for $60 billion. God, wouldn't you love to have a startup that's worth that already? Univity scores a 32 million Series A for a Vlao 5G demonstrator. China is backing an orbital data center startup with an $8.4 billion credit line. And from the EU, Atmos Space Cargo gets 25.7 million euros for space return operations. The House Science Committee vows to reject the NASA budget cuts. Go figure. SpaceX claims AI data centers in orbit may not be commercially viable. That's an interesting point of view, to say the least. Spain's Pangea Propulsion got 2 million euros from the Catalan government. And what's the deal with those shiny new NASA moon suits they keep talking about? Are they actually going to be on time? That is a real concern. All that, plus our guest, Wendy Austin. From the news desk at the Center for Space Commerce and Finance, my name is Thomas Andrew Olson, and this is The Unknown Quantity. And as you know, the show is brought to you by the Center for Space Commerce and Finance. What do we do? Well, of course, you know what we do. We champion and strengthen emerging space startups and space-adjacent enterprises worldwide through advisory, access, and advocacy. Our pitch events and world-class boot camps fortify startups to be better investor-ready. Now, a lot of our work, especially this podcast, is supported by our listeners and fans like you. So if you just go to cscf.space/support and click that point-of-stay donate button, a little in the tip jar each month makes a big difference. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tell your friends. Speaking of friends, my oldest space friend, Michael Wayne, who just scored the peyote he needs for his sweat lodge, is here with me. Michael, come on in, man.
Hey.
Got enough for me? Can you send me some? I'm feeling a little run down lately. I need a new view of life.
Right on. How are you? What's going on your side?
Me, I'm still just beating the pavement for certain things to happen, and I'm trying to take care of some multiple emergencies here at the home front, and so it's just been mildly exhausting, actually, but I'm hanging in. So there we go. How about yourself?
I'm running a hell of a lot of proposals and waiting for other people to say yes or no to things. It feels like my whole life is waiting for other people to react. I'm like moving pieces on the chessboard, and something's going to happen. So
good. Keep your hopes up. I mean, I've been kind of doing the same thing when I have time, when I'm not trying to fix a bug infestation in my garage, or and my wife's having this skin ailment problem. We don't know where that came from, and the doctor she saw just the other day was no help at all. Dang. And so it's like, I don't know. We're still trying to figure out what the medical profession has to offer or not at this case. That's where we're at.
I did
forward.
I did do something kind of fun yesterday. I gave a pitch on the elevator to a room full of people, which honestly is a little terrifying.
Sure.
And believe it or not, of all the times I've been on camera or on stage, I've not ever really had a reason to get good at pitching. So this new stage that I'm at, this new life choice that I'm at, I got to start pitching, and I don't really know how, but out of 14 people, I came in third, so I was pretty happy about that. And I have some stuff to work on to get better. But I was pretty happy with third, honestly, since
I
it
tell
was.
you what, let's make some time. You can do a mini boot camp just with me.
I would
How
love
about
that.
that?
That
How
would
about
be
that?
great. Yep.
You
Yep.
can. I will just. You just do it. We'll do a Zoom call. We'll do it. We do the whole spiel,
Let's
and
do
I'll
it.
sit there dispassionately and say, okay, here's where you did great. Here's where you sucked. This is
Yeah.
why. This is what you should do. I mean, I've been watching these things since
Yeah.
2009,
Yeah.
or earlier even,
Yeah.
and so it's like, yeah, well, of course I'm going to help you. I'm kind of on the team already, so shit, use me.
Okay, let's talk about that, but maybe that's something we do on air. I would be okay with doing it on air. Like,
Okay.
I think that would be an interesting show. I think it would be good for other people. It
Yeah.
definitely, we can
Yeah.
talk about it. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I don't know why we haven't done that already, but yeah,
Okay.
I did my first pitch yesterday and it was adequate. It was adequate.
Half the battle in even personal growth is just meeting yourself halfway and getting through that fear point
Yeah.
and pushing
Yeah.
through it.
They handed everybody this little card, the 3x5 card. Basically, it's a 3-minute Mad Libs version. Hi, my
Okay.
name is, this is what I'm doing, the problem I'm trying to tackle, the blah, blah, blah. I mean, it felt like kindergarten, but it was surprisingly useful. So yeah, just 3-minute pitch and 2 minutes of Q&A. So super fast, but
Yeah.
yeah. So
This is what we train people to do all the time.
right.
I just did an
Right.
elevator pitch event in Sydney 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay,
let's do
all right,
that.
cool. I love
Okay,
it.
the news. Okay.
A lot of news. What do we
I
got?
love this first article. I just had to add it because it's kind of there's a certain irony in it.
Yeah.
I consider it painful elucidation of the obvious. Uh, yeah, it didn't reach orbit because of a thrust deficiency. That's like a rapid disassembly, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I hate like language that's intended to obfuscate. Like we didn't go high enough and we it didn't go fast enough. The end. But
Yeah.
they're gonna turn it into a press release and
Yeah, and I guess they did find a fault in one of the engines on, the booster or the upper stage engine that just wasn't, getting it done. So I guess they have some fix-it work they can do, except the FAA has officially grounded them until they figure it out.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, that's a big deal. Oops,
Yeah.
Right? Officially
Well,
grounded.
a big enough oops to kind of warrant that. So
yeah,
they have a ways to go. I'm rooting for them, as you are.
Of course.
But at least they pinned down the problem, and now they got to work the problem. And this is what we do. This is the business we're in. Next up, AST, who was the unfortunate recipient of that problem the other day.
Yep.
They did, nevertheless, get permission from the FCC to compete with Starlink Mobile.
It's a big
so
deal.
They got some. They can compete in the. It's just a 430 to 440 megahertz band. It's like that. It's like not much, but despite that, I guess they're stepping on the toes of ham radio operators, which creates an issue. So I don't know what they're going to do, but they only have a 248 satellite constellation, and they're offering supplemental coverage from space outside the U.S., whatever that means. And so, good luck to them. I hope they get a new satellite up there and things will do what they do.
I'm curious if they get the same pushback that Starlink got when it first started, because their spacecraft is the biggest thing in the sky by a lot. It's way bigger than the International Space Station. I'm not sure if this current fleet is, but one of their iterations is the biggest thing in the sky. And I wonder if you're going to be able to see it from the ground.
Yeah. Well, here's where Starlink is having an issue now. I think it's its own size,
Yeah.
and mild hubris is starting to catch up to it. There was an article the other day, which I did not include because we just don't have time for all this, is that they were threatening Australia to not provide service at all unless Australia gave them a free ride and all the bandwidth they want. They wouldn't have to go through formal application process like everybody else. They just want to say, give us what we want and we'll serve you. And I don't know what Australia is going to say to them about that. But I told Walt Anderson, my buddy and friend and boss at Ave Alto, that maybe we need to get a hold of somebody in the Australian government really quickly and say, we might have an alternative for you.
Right.
Yeah.
No government wants to be held hostage. That's not a good way to get an economic development deal to work.
Yeah. But here's the big shot, the eyebrow raised for me today, and it isn't because of SpaceX. It's about them. The next up, it has an option to acquire a startup called Cursor for $60 billion.
The kid is 25 years old.
Yeah. How is it $60 billion? How's a startup worth that?
Because it has $100 million in recurring revenue, annual recurring revenue, which is good. That's good. Hats off to $100 million of recurring revenue, but the premium, the multiple to get to $60 billion. And why are we telling this story? Why? Because SpaceX is considering buying them.
Yeah.
It's a $10 billion walk away program if they don't buy them.
Yeah.
So that's a good afternoon's work, right?
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is, when you acquire something like that, or in any industry, you're acquiring talent and skills that you don't have to build yourself,
right?
But you want, and so they're going to take that and hook it up with XAI, which they've already acquired, to do even more things that they can't do right now, and will obviously expand their base of operation, 100-fold maybe.
Yeah.
Oh. But man, $60 billion for a startup.
Yeah.
Early hustle, you bet.
And now, we don't want to, this is not a show about the intersection of AI and money, because that's its own show and its own program. But now that SpaceX is considering it falls under our, what we're watching. So I was pretty surprised by this. Wild stuff.
Yep. Now back to normal life with normal money. So a French startup, Univity, of course, I've never heard of them before, but they got a $32 million Series A to deploy a pair of 5G demonstrators into very low Earth orbit, whatever that means, ahead of plans for at least 1,600 of those to help telecom operators extend their 5G coverage from space. So this is another one of those flavor of the month things.
Direct to device. Chaz Miller pioneered it with what's his company's name?
Link. It's called Link now.
Link, yeah.
It used to be Ubiquity Link, and then they changed it to Link with a Y.
Yeah.
And because we've had offers for that from people in the Middle East. They wanted us to deploy just Ave Alto, high altitude platforms, but they only wanted to provide basically cell tower in the sky service. And we did the numbers on that, and for the technology we build, it just didn't pay. Mobile backhaul, great money, Wi-Fi broadband services, across areas that are underserved, great money, but just cell tower as a service, barely worth getting up in the morning.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've been saying for a while that very low Earth orbit is about to be a very busy place, and SpaceX is bringing all of their Starlinks down lower and lower and lower to deal with the latency, to deal with not having to dodge all the traffic that's higher up. VLEO is about to be the next cool thing. So I think we're going to wind up with more hardware there.
As long as we can still punch past them to get to cislunar space and elsewhere, that's my only concern.
It's a good concern. Yeah, it's real. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now here we go. Oh, something out of China. And here we go again.
Right.
You're talking about, space and money, or AI and money. Well, here we go again. China's backing an orbital data center startup with $8.4 billion in credit lines. So they want to do space-based computing infrastructure, however that looks.
What would you do with an 8.4 billion credit line? I mean, right? Like, okay, just apply it to Alvialto, or I'm going to apply it to elevators.
Okay, all right.
Like that is bonkers. That kind of money level is bonkers to me.
Let's put it this way: we could build 400 platforms and spread them out around the world. Each one of them, if they're at 90% capacity, they'll make before EBITDA about $900,000 a month.
Oh my God!
You see, and we would be so flush. I can afford to do one of my personal fantasies. Is I want to float one of those right over Mount Everest. That one won't pay for itself, but it will pay. Do you know 35,000 people go to Everest Base Camp every year?
Absolutely.
And the service they're getting, you can imagine, is from the crappy satellites flying over there that they have now.
Yeah,
we could give them like it's home. Here you go, boom.
So
and
China,
you go to the summit of Everest and call mom on your smartphone.
Call mom and do it. And
send here, look where I am.
Send a selfie. This is me summiting. Yep. What a world. Yeah, $8 billion in credit lines. My elevator's only $350 million. So you could build a lot of elevators for that.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
But we could also buy our own private commercial space stations to play with. We could do all sorts of things. I mean, actually, what I want to do with Aviato is about the first billion or less. So what do I do with the rest of it? That's a good question.
Yeah. Oh, Dallas was asking a question. In what way is AST spacecraft larger than the ISS?
Who said that? Not me. Did I say that? I hope not. Tom.
Dallas. No, Dallas.
I know. No, I didn't. But I didn't say AST spacecraft
I said
larger than ISS.
It is the solar panels on. I don't know if it's this generation or the next generation, but the solar panels of AST are the biggest thing floating in space. They're gigantic.
Okay, the solar panels. That's a whole different matter than the craft. Okay.
Yeah, no. It's a giant footprint, and I think it's gonna.
Okay.
I wonder if the astronomy community is going to get angry about it the same way they did for.
Well, ask Bill Gates and some of those people about that. They want to put giant solar shields in space so it actually blocks sun from the Earth. And so how's that going to help astronomy?
Right.
But the Nancy Grace Roman new telescope is going up in September.
Right.
That's not a clip we have here, but I just noticed that today.
Yep.
So I guess we'll have to depend entirely on space-based telescopes if that happens.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Moving on.
Atmos Space Cargo. They raised it's another one of these things that we've talked about before. The Eurozone and other countries, they're starting to develop their own sovereign capabilities because they don't want to depend on the U.S. as much.
Right.
And Atmos Space Cargo has raised 25.7 million euros to start space return operations. They're a logistics company. And they've closed this funding round, Series A, and so they're going to begin it's all for operations. It's a recoverable in-orbit research capsule called Phoenix 2. I think we referred to this before. And it will host payloads up to 100 kilograms on missions lasting up to 3 months. And so they raised some money and they're doing it.
Yeah. Sean is always highlighting how important the downmass component is.
Yep.
I think there's something there. I do. It's not a field I pay that much attention to. Sean pays more attention to it than I do. But Space Forge is one of their competitors. I think they're here in the United States. But there's probably 5 or 6 downmass companies. There's 6 or 7 or 8 space tug companies. Like that layer of specialization, specialty services, that's starting to come online. Right? Look at the Artemis program. You had every single thing you needed in the same box, right? You had all of your life support, you had your cargo, you had the launch to begin with, the several stages and the return process, all in the same box. And I think soon, maybe not tomorrow, but soon, you're going to wind up with a specialty system that gets you to low Earth orbit, another one that is a space tug to get you where you want to go, and another one that's down mass. I really think the specialization is going to be the way that we go, but
absolutely,
it might be a while.
We will have the continuous presence,
yeah,
post ISS, but it's going to be broken up into smaller but ubiquitous pieces. There's going to be a lot of them. There's always going to be somebody up there doing something, and most of it, for pay.
Yeah.
Deal. And there will be savings in the long run, even if NASA wants to get in the act and rent some space to do something special that they want to do. I think their focus should be on the moon, but that's just me. Right. Speaking of NASA budgets, the next thing up, there was of course, we're back to it again. We got lawmakers and the science committee members. They're completely incensed about the NASA budget cuts. But to me, this is deja vu all over again.
Exactly.
We went through this exactly at the same time. This same time last year, we talked about this.
Right.
They had that low budget, and then the Congress said, "No, we're giving $10 billion back to do this and this and this," and we're seeing it again.
The Planetary Society lost their goddamn mind when that budget came out. And they sent a whole delegation out to DC saying, we want our science, super effective ground support for the Planetary Society. Hats off to them. National Space Society, Space Frontier, they helped, but it was a Planetary Society that really drove that.
Yeah,
and they total 180, right? All the Congress folks, they're like, yep. Keep our science.
Well, they probably just sent Bill Nye to do his dog and pony show with blowing up balloons and bringing his chemistry set and doing stuff and showing them science. This is the science. Yeah, so that's all it took.
Yeah,
and it was they were fine.
So here we are again. What do you think the political calculus is, both at the White House and at the Congress? Why would they do this again the same way they did it last time? And you had to know Isaacman was in the thick of it for these decisions. What is going on here? Because I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I don't know how much of this is driven by the current administration, how much of it is driven by other political factors. Because a very
$9 trillion budget,
I know,
right? Like that. Okay.
I know. If Trump is known for anything, he's known for this, even when he's like normal, is he puts a stake in the ground way out here. And then there's pushback and complaint and screaming and yelling, and there's a negotiation, and it goes down and and it gets to this point here, which is where Trump wanted to be all along. And so that's his negotiation style. It's always been that way. I remember this, living in New York, watching him do his real estate deal. It's the same. It was in the news every day, so he was just a fact of life for people, living there. And so we're used to it. But no one else is. No one else sees this. No one in the West Coast sees this. They don't understand that history, and so everybody panics every time he sneezes and does something. I'm not happy about everything he does. But I see us. I still see that pattern in a lot of ways, even on the big stuff.
All right.
So we'll see. I mean, I think some of those cuts will be restored again. Because Ted Cruz hasn't weighed in yet.
Right.
And when he does, usually whatever happens then is whatever happens then. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this particular game, but I'm glad I'm not in Washington, D.C. That's what I'm going to say about that. All right.
You're going to be in about a month and a half.
Right. Yeah. All right. What do we got next?
Okay. What do we got? We're close to the end here. We've got this. This is from actually Reuters of all places. SpaceX did a S1 filing, and in that filing, it apparently highlighted the risks of unproven space-based AI and interplanetary projects. And so, but then they turn around and warn everybody that heavy reliance on the Starship rocket could impact growth if delays persist. Yeah. So they're all over the place. Right. But this is an official S1 filing.
This is 1984 devil speak. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
All the ambitions rely on unproven technology and may not become commercially viable. At least until I can own it all. That's kind of the unspoken part.
Right.
Because I'm going to pick up this outfit for $60 billion. I'm going to merge it with XAI, and then we will have Colossus. We will have,
you have to put in those kind of disclosure documents in these sort of filings, but it's like, woo, let's.
Well, you'll know he's done it with that all that big thing. All of a sudden, takes over everything and has Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice. That then you're screwed, right?
You know what? Seriously, on a serious note, like it's fun to poke fun at SpaceX right now, but on a serious note, what I don't understand about their offering is why they're not talking about point-to-point suborbital. It is way easier to make that case than data centers in the sky.
Yeah,
they are so much closer to that capability. Why is this feels like such a giant distraction?
I think right now
actually able to do.
I think right now he's really focused on the moon. He is focused on refueling in orbit. That's the thing he wants to prove that this year on orbit refueling. And then he's building a smaller version of the upper stage to land on the moon. Those are the two biggest things he needs to worry about right now and is worrying about. Point-to-point suborbital is a side hustle.
But it's a better side hustle for his story of a $2 trillion IPO than data centers. Well, everybody understands. I was at dinner last night with one of the angels that was interested in talking, and I'm like, here's point-to-point suborbital. A rocket goes up, the world spins underneath it, the rocket comes down. Seattle to Tokyo in 45 minutes. And her eyes went boink, like that's real. Right. I'm like, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
It's such an easier conversation. Everybody understands the difference between a 15-hour flight and a 45-minute flight. So easy to explain.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're missing a giant element that, and they could be the American Airlines of space. I mean, they could.
Yeah, well, it could be. Well, yeah, if you actually look at the history of airline travel, not a single airline ever has really made much money in 80 years. So I think the same thing may hold true here. He's doing a roadshow now.
Yeah,
he's doing a roadshow soon, And those people are serious analysts. It's not been their first rodeo by any means. They're big
Right.
guys who write, who move huge numbers around.
Right.
And so, yeah, they will look at that. You want to put that into your proposal? Sure. But they're gonna see the numbers from that probably, no matter how pie in the sky, and it's not gonna be much by comparison to the larger picture he's trying to
Yeah.
paint. I think.
I think it's a tactical error to push data centers when point to point is so much closer. So whatever. Nobody's offering me $2 trillion for what I think. So
Yep, yeah. But it might be 1/20th the revenue. See what I mean?
Right,
It's I don't know what they're pitching or how they're pitching it, and we'll probably never know unless it sneaks out somehow.
I bet you there's people are going to leak that. I bet you that's a thing that's going to get leaked. Yeah, it's too big a story.
Once the road shows starts, we might see a leak, and in fact, we need more friends.
Right,
friends. So we can get a leak ourselves. Leak something to us. Come on, we'll be your best friend. Come on, guys, bring it in.
Wouldn't that be fun to? Yeah. All right.
Exclusive here on this show.
Right, exactly.
Someone leaked this, and we put the guy on whose face is blacked out, and his voice sounds like this. And so,
all right, Sean is like, no more news. Let's get to our guests. So
okay, we didn't get it all, but okay, but we did good. We only had a couple of things we left. Let's do this. Our guest tonight, we've had on before, and she's wonderful. Her name is Wendy Austin, and she is one of the key people at a company called First Robotics. They do robotics teaching and competitions for K through 12 students, and they've just had a major competition, and they're going to be doing more. And we're going to talk about all aspects of robotics and maybe some AI and how the kids are adjusting to that. And so, Wendy, welcome back.
I just saw Sean's notes in the chat. He's like, time, guys, no more news. Let's get to our guests. 7 exclamation points, for God's sake. So
I was enjoying it completely. But I have no leaks for you tonight. None.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
Thank you.
I'm glad someone did. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Y'all had me cracking up. You just couldn't see it.
Oh no! I just got to add though. Dallas Beanoff says, "What's smaller Starship? The Starship that will go and land on the moon? Yeah, the lunar lander that Elon is building is actually physically shorter. It is smaller.
I like how it's got like Mickey Mouse ears. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Wendy, give us your 1 minute, 2 minute bio just to remind people who you are and what you're doing.
Sure. My name it won't take that long. My name is Wendy Austin. I am the regional director for First Robotics in North and Central Florida. Our program starts at age 4 and goes up to 18, but I mostly deal with the high school students, which is called First Robotics Competition, or FRC, which is sort of how we control or differentiate our programs. So I deal mostly with the high schoolers. We have just finished our last regular season events. We had 7 weeks of competitions. We had 201 official FRC events, 17,029 qualification and playoff matches, 169 first leadership award finalists. That's the only individual student award that's given, and there's one for every regional, and however many each district gets depends on how many teams are in their district. 86 First Impact Award winners, and that is the highest award the team can win in first. And then 79 Woody Flowers finalists, which are our mentors, and 73 volunteers of the year. So that's what we've been up to.
Wow.
That's crazy. Crazy.
my regionals are in Orlando, which was in April. No, this is April. In March. And I had teams there from Turkey, Sweden. Wow, I've forgotten at this point. But you could tell the Swedish team because they were all very tall and blonde. I had Colombia, Dominican Republic, Sweden, and 2 teams, I think, from Turkey. And then in Tallahassee, just this past weekend, I had Turkey, Chinese Taipei, and Mexico. And Mexico was the number 1 seed and was the captain of the winning alliance.
Wow. Good
Yeah.
for them. Yeah. How many, give me that number again on the number of teams and how many students are represented there?
Well, in Florida, we have 90 of the FRC teams, 90 or 91, and there's an average of 35 kids per team. So some teams will have 20 or 30, and some will have 60 or 70. I don't know what they do with all those children, but they do, and they're amazing teams. So you're looking, I think in Orlando, we kind of guesstimated we have 1,750 kids. And then in Tallahassee, we had about 1,500.
My intern last year was the captain of her first team. And she's like, I didn't even get to touch robots. I didn't even get to program anything. It was just operation.
Well, I can imagine. And she should have been allowed to write code. I would not like it if, like the team that I'm a mentor on, my lead programmer is a girl and she is phenomenal. She is 17 years old. She's already passed college DiffEQ, and they won't let her take any more math classes until she graduates from high school. But she is brilliant, and she was so it's a shooting game this year. So they shoot these like oversized softballs that weigh a half a pound. Okay. And she built a whole simulator. So, and she's tried to explain to me, I want everybody to remember I was a theater major. So that art could drive our target. And she explained it to me, and I just stare at her blankly. And then she would show me a picture of the arcs, and I'd go, "Oh, okay, I get it." But yeah, she was gorgeous. She is so smart. I actually, our main mentor. So I'm gonna backtrack just a touch. So the main mentor on the team was a student of mine when on another team. When he graduated from high school, he had enough CTE certifications to walk into Cole Engineering as a cybersecurity high school intern. At the end of summer, they told him he could not be the high school intern anymore, but could he just come work for them, and that they would work around his school schedule. You know, jump 5 or 6 years. He kept on at Cole Engineering, and he has now had 3 of our students hired on there, and he's trying to get Isabel in. He's like, no, we have to have her. So that is one of the things I like about FIRST is the professional student sort of pipeline. So
that's awesome.
Sorry, I totally went off track.
No, it's good. It's good. I love that story. I love watching these kids just grow and evolve. And you need to point out your earrings. You wore them last time, and I know what they are, but nobody else knows what they are. Can you tell the story of the
I don't know if you can see it. That is our logo. It's a triangle, a circle, and a square. Dean Kamen's father, who was an artist, a graphic artist, designed it. And so a team made me these. They 3D printed them, catted them out, 3D printed them. And they are like the lightest pair of earrings. You can't even feel like you're wearing them.
Right. And it's the logo. It's a circle.
Mm-hmm. It's the logo. Yeah. It's the logo.
Yeah. It's brilliant. Love it.
They were inspired by the pizza.
Yes.
A round thing in a square box cut into triangle.
A triangle. Right. Although I don't know, some pizza places around here are cutting pizzas into square, and I think it should be an abomination and not allowed.
Anarchy.
It is totally anarchy.
The world is totally on fire. Yep. Yep.
That's the basis of the competition. Like, kind of basic. I'm pretty sure I understand what they do, but there's always a specific. These teams compete with each other. There's a specific problem they have to solve. I guess every year.
There's different
or
tasks.
Is it a task to perform?
Well, it's a different game every year. So there's different ways that you can score. And unofficially, if you follow the pattern, the first 1 year will be a shooting game and the next year will be like a pick and place game. And then it kind of goes back and forth. But this year it was a shooting game, and it was, like I said, oversized softballs that weighed a half a pound that they were trying to shoot into a hub that was kind of one on each third of the field. So you had, I think there was like 300 something balls on the field. So the robots were trying to, one of the strategies was literally so the field is cut into thirds, and the middle third is the neutral zone, and then there's the blue side and the red side. So the hubs that you shoot into would trade off which one was on and which one was not. So you could only score points in yours when it lit up. And so when your hub was not lit, a lot of your robots were in the middle trying to move all the balls to your side.
Okay.
Or which my team was very good at, was defense. We would go over and just get in their way so they couldn't shoot. Because that was our job.
And so if you got knocked down, was that a charging foul?
There are pinning fouls.
There are. Okay.
There's definitely fouls. And the way it works in first is if you commit a foul, you don't lose points. The other team gets the points.
Okay.
Interesting.
So if you foul, you're giving your opposing team extra points.
Right. Yeah. Great.
So you try real hard not to do that.
Well, one of the things
shooting balls too.
One of the things I always liked about it was just the camaraderie and the working together and the fair play element of it. I've seen, a team with a broken down set of robots and 3 other teams from another school will come over like, hey, I got spare parts. What do you need? Here's some code. And they repair them on the fly because they work together. I really admire that.
It's called gracious professionalism. And I think I told you I think I told you the last time I was here. This program was somewhat based on the Apollo program, where you had all these competing contractors that had to learn to work together to put a man on the moon.
Right.
So they play in alliances, and during qualifying, you're randomly paired with who you're playing with and against. So you don't want to destroy anybody's robot because they might be your partner 2 or 3 matches down the line, which is which is why you want to make sure every team there is playing to the highest of their ability.
Yeah. Oh, that's
we had a different word for that in the early days of New Space. We called it co-opetition.
Yeah. We also that has been a trademark word for us.
Yep. We saw that a lot in the early days of our industry when there were like a lot of upstart little startups that running on 6-figure budgets, and they were all out at Mojave tinkering with stuff and flying things and crashing things and learning things, and so they all worked together in separate areas and borrow ideas from each other and do it like that. And that's how a $630 billion industry got started.
Right.
25 years ago.
I was on a call today. I'm not going to say who, but Tom, you know who they're going to be calling is Orbit Fab tomorrow. So they're talking to Daniel, but this whole community, they talk to each other, they work together, they try to help each other solve problems. So it's the grown-up version of first, and I love that.
Yep. And I love it because a lot of our teams will take a lot of their code and some of their designs and put them out on open source.
Oh.
So anyone can get them.
I'm a little surprised at, because I probably wouldn't be doing that myself.
If they're going to be your partner and help you win.
Yeah.
Why not?
All right. Huh. Fun.
So I did want to I did want to tell you, Michael, if you need training for an elevator speech, that's what my kids can do because they learn to do that. That's part of the training.
The speaking part, the presentation part, it's great. Yep. Yeah.
We were actually at the Navy today doing a presentation, and it was Kids Day at the Navy, and I got a lot of compliments on how well my students spoke.
Nice.
Good, and they were all freshmen.
I'm fairly reasonable at public speaking myself, and guess how I learned it? Studying theater in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Me too.
I knew I wasn't going to make it in Hollywood, but I could speak in front of a crowd of 2,000 people, and
Oklahoma.
No, I hated musicals. I wouldn't do them.
I can't sing.
I grew up in that family, so we did musicals for better and for worse. Yeah,
I could dance, can't sing.
Okay.
Not at all.
Yeah, nope, I can't. I can't really sing, not really, but high school level. All right, so finals are kind of wrapping up. What's next? There's just a little bit left. There's a little bit.
The World Championships is next. World Championships. I fly out Tuesday, so next Wednesday.
Okay.
A little less than a week we are taking over the George R. Brown Convention Center in Houston, Texas. There'll be about 500,000 kids there. We have 8 fields end to end on the bottom floor for
wait, no, I stopped listening. 500,000 kids.
I think maybe it's 50, but I thought it was 5. Might be 50.
You know what?
Might be 50.
What a difference a zero makes.
Right.
But theater major, I don't math.
That's insane.
I think it's 50,000 now that you say that. Okay, but because we start at age 4 and we go all the way up. So we have teams at every level there.
Wow. All right.
Even 50K, that's a lot to keep track of.
That's a lot of kids. Yeah. You know, the very, very biggest space conference just happened last week in Colorado Springs. It's 11,000 people. It's 11. You guys are 5 times bigger than that. Yeah. Are you frozen? Drat, you're frozen. Tom, are you frozen?
I'm not frozen.
Am I back?
Yeah.
You're back. Yeah. Everything's good. Okay.
Am I back yet?
Yeah. Yeah, so we just keep doing it. Yeah, the biggest space conference is 11,000 people, so that's 5 times bigger than the biggest thing that we're able to put together. Just for perspective.
Yep.
So amazing, good. How many students or how many teams are you bringing?
In Florida, we have 13 of the FRC teams that have qualified to go for our First Tech Challenge. I think we have 9 from the state going, and I don't know how many of the little kids we have going.
Awesome.
Because that's a very, very much more of an international. When you go to the first Lego League section, it's great because they all have their little booth with their table and stuff, and they all bring their country's food. It's like an international food court. It's fantastic. And they all have on like I can remember one year we were watching the Korean team get ready and they were practicing bowing to the judges. They were adorable and they were in their, their country dress.
Right.
So it is so amazing to watch all of these kids from all over the world in all different age ranges being super respectful to each other. The big kids will go in and cheer for the little kids. The little kids are fascinated by the big kids and they walk the pits and the big kids give them like stickers and buttons and like little keychains and whatever swag they've got to pass out. So, and it's we're there for 5 days, so it's a lot.
You make friends. Mm-hmm. You make friends all over the world. Love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they bring you stuff. It's really cool.
And they bring you stuff.
In fact, I need to probably stock up on saltwater taffy and take some.
That's like so I'm an alum of International Space University, and ISU is modeled after Starfleet Academy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever we know about. And so for me, you'd spend almost 3 months. There was 129 students from 30 nations, and we would do culture night every Friday night. And they're not just bringing, their saltwater taffy. They're bringing their hard alcohols that represent their country.
I can't do that.
You can't do that, but I'm just telling you, it's a lot of fun.
I imagine.
Yeah. And here's the local drink from Kazakhstan or Ukraine I'm like, oh yeah. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. So even big kids get their own culture night. So good.
Have you ever seen? It's a cable show from somewhere called Three Sheets.
No.
So it's based on Three Sheets to the Wind, and it's this guy, and I don't know how he convinced the TV production people that he travels around the world and goes to bar hopping and finds out what's the local drink and what's the hangover cure and all the things. And like he crashed a Russian wedding one time, got tanked. It's a ball to watch.
Oh, right. The Anthony Bourdain of boozing.
Right.
Basically. Yep.
All right. We got about 9 more minutes here. Let's talk a little bit about the future. So this competition is going to happen in just a matter of minutes here next week and the week after. How's Florida done historically, and do you have any predictions or crystal balls, or is it kind of unethical for you to make those calls? Because I don't want to put you on the spot.
Well, I don't know all the teams that are coming. I just know my teams that are coming. Okay. So there's 8 fields. We will usually end up, depending on how many Florida teams are on each field. Last year there were 2 fields. 2 of the 8 fields didn't have any Florida teams. But I would say out of our 13 teams, probably 8 of them will end up playing in field division finals. Okay. And then if we're really lucky, we'll have one that'll make it to the Einstein finals. We have a team called Spam that's out of South Florida that has won on the Einstein fields before. Okay. The pink team from Cocoa Beach hasn't made an appearance on Einstein in a while, but they used to be a fairly regular on Einstein. Exploding Bacon, which is a team out of Winter Park, has played on Einstein.
Exploding Bacon.
I know. Well, that's the name. Oink, oink, boom. That's their cheer.
Oink, oink, boom.
Oink, oink, boom. The one thing, so in the Orlando regional, Children of the Swamp and Spam almost always end up playing in the same alliance and almost always end up winning. But because of the way their number, because their one is 179, one is 180. When you get to championships, they're never on the same field.
Right.
So they can't ever take over. But I'm really excited. So the teams are, your number is in numerical order from when you started your team. Okay. And so, so I said 179 and 180, those teams are 28 years old. We have a team, 162. So they're only like a second or third year team, and they made it to Worlds this year. So I'm very proud of them. The Vikings from Northwest Florida.
Nice. Good teachers, good mentors, good. That's a rocket ship they're on. Good for them.
Well, most of our kids want to go into the space program.
Right?
Right. One of my students, 19, he just got a job at Blue Origin.
Oh, good for him.
Whoa.
Good.
Yep.
This is what it's about, right?
Right?
There.
Yeah.
And so I do want to take a second. Because you keep saying, "Oh, I'm a theater major," but you're also a regional director, but bottom line, you are also an educator. I would like you to put on your educator hat for 30 seconds and say, there you go. Given all the explosion of AI and the things that are going on in the general society and culture, what do you think? How is the best way, do you think, to start preparing these kids for that kind of way out future that's going to hit them within a few short years?
Okay, so I asked a couple of my coaches this question so that I could talk. And so one of them, who runs an FTC team, which is the smaller robots, he said that they use AI in 4 different areas right now: vision systems, CADing, coding, and rules. The vision systems, they use an advanced vision system so that they can recognize objects on the field and the April tags, which are like a QR code, so that they can lock onto that, know where they are in the field, and then shoot or move or do whatever they have to do from wherever they are. In CAD, they analyze CAD models so that they can optimize structural integrity and weight reduction, because my personal team was 5 pounds overweight when they got there and had to Swiss cheese their robot. So that was fun. And then for coding, they said, he said that AI can assist with writing code, but it's very rudimentary. So you don't want to, because it hasn't really been taught enough yet. And then rules and strategy. And that is a good thing if you just, feed in the game manual and say, what's a good strategy, or to, these are because some teams have a lot more limitations. They build in a school. They can only build, for 4 hours a week. They don't have a machine shop. So how can they build a robot as opposed to like one of the NASA house teams that has a full machine shop and, 12 engineers that help? So that's one way they're doing it. And then my one FRC coach, the one that I was telling you about that worked for Cole Engineering, said AI is technology like any other. Some adopt it and some don't. In fact, a lot of law firms still use fax machines. I did not know that. And he said that AI is not great at generating new ideas. They just come up with kind of average ideas because they only know what already exists.
That's the learned language model. Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he said that on our team, we use AI in 2 areas mostly. One is to do research on something really fast or get back on an idea or a piece of work already done. And robots don't have enough computing power to run AI locally, integrate machine learning on a robot, as well as some AI and applications off the robot. He said, looking at AI as technology, our goal is to expose students in a meaningful manner that is both responsible and productive. He's not even 30 yet, and this is
yeah.
He said, looking to the horizon, it's a balancing act. Because we were actually talking about this not too long ago, that a lot of our students, we are teaching them how to use a manual CNC machine, but in the real world, they're only going to know that as history. They're going to,
That's the Dewey Decimal System in the card catalog file of the library. Yeah.
And a slide rule.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
Yeah. Can't use any of that. Yeah.
Right. But they know the mechanics behind it. So they can do a better job of feeding the information into the machine and having the machine do it.
Gotcha. All right. We got 1 minute left. What does the future look like? 5 years and 25 years. Fast.
5 years. I hope that we have over 100 teams in Florida, FRC teams. We currently have 9 FTC leagues. I would love to see 12 or 15. And in 25 years, oh my God, these kids are going to be running the world.
Hope so.
I know what they're coming. I know what they're capable of. So I'm excited for that future. And I grew up a kid of the space race. I thought we would already have, suburbs on the moon. So hopefully by 25 years, I know. Yeah. Hopefully by 25 years from now, we will.
Yep, absolutely. And on that note, Wendy Austin, Regional Director of FIRST Robotics, and an inspiration to thousands of students to take up STEM careers, which we love. Thank you so much for being with us.
You're
We'll
welcome.
we'll do this
Anytime.
again.
I'll
We'll do this
report
again
back.
sometime.
I'll
Okay.
report back if a Florida team wins. Well, I'll tell because
Thank you so
might be
much
one of
for
your
being here.
teams. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yep.
Good luck.
Okay. On Monday, guess what? We're taking a day off. And it's either going to be a repeat or a compilation reel that Sean is putting together. We'll let you know. But next Thursday, a week from today, Dan Faber, late of Orbit Fab, will be joining us at long last. After the SAT show last month, he literally took off on his motorcycle on a vision quest of his own. And we can't wait to hear what's next for this serial entrepreneur. That'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern as always. And while I'm at it, I'd also like to wish my daughter Erica a very happy and healthy 37th birthday. I can't believe sometimes it's been that long.
Right.
Love you, dear. From the news desk at the Center for Space Commerce and Finance, I remain Thomas Andrew Olson from Michael Lane and Sean Key. Bye.